Welcome, cult member, to the cult den. Ha ha ha. There's a link going out for Rock Chalk and Soapy. Come on up, guys. Let's get. So, what do we really know about Demetrius and Emma? Hey, my lovely co-host Soapy, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How about you, Robert?
I'm
I
doing
am.
good. So, what do we
I
really know about Soapy and Demetrius?
I have never
They're
met
always,
Demetrius. Don't listen to him. Just kidding. You said my name by accident,
yeah,
but I think you meant Emma.
yeah. Well, Emma, I'm sorry.
Sophie, are you hiding
Yeah,
something from us?
Yeah, I know exactly. I'm like, I've never met Demetrius. Don't believe any things, photos he shows you,
Oh,
or
okay.
all those times I had fake bags of drugs,
I
or
mean, it
whatever
just seems
that
kind of
one guy
funny how
said the other day.
it's just
Fake drugs.
it seems kind of funny how Emma and Demetrius are always skirting on the fringe of this case, and we don't really know how they tie into this case or if they don't tie into this case.
I have a kind of a thought of that because it's such a small town. It's got to be part of it, right? Like, boy,
I
like there
think I
can't
think
be
it
that
does tie
many.
in.
What?
I think it does tie in a way,
Oh
some
yeah, I
way.
just think it's kind of like you live in a big city. You're a small fish, big pond. There's people every place, but when you live in a town that has like two grocery stores,
Mm.
you know
Not only,
everybody.
not only that, let's not forget that Emma was seen leaving 11:22. So
We're on
Yep, on
camp.
body
We
cam.
saw her with Ashlyn, right? We saw
that's
her with
right,
the other
Ashland.
girl.
Yep. Hmm.
So I can't believe the whole whatever storyline that jutted out someplace that we saw that was like she hasn't been back to the house, and I was like, okay, but like we saw her on that one video, and so I'd like to know what how often did she go to the house? Like was she? It's kind of up in the air ish. I know we have other people who may know better than we do, of course.
But her parents' house was right behind the King house.
Oh, that's her parents' house?
That's what I was told.
Now that's
Yeah,
even funnier to me.
they live about a mile behind the house, and what's kind of ironic is how you get to the house. You take this little like hiking trail, and there's steps that go down to her parents' house from the hiking trail.
A mile? I didn't think it was a mile.
It's a mile.
Well, that's
Yeah,
new to me.
I saw someplace also that it was a mile, but like that other house, I thought that she lived in a house that was behind the King Road house or Queen Road or whatever road it is, and that her folks also lived that far away. Is that not true?
Oh, maybe there is two, and I'm just knowing about the parents.
I
But
mean,
I thought the one that she was in was like literally right behind the house, though. So maybe I got my stuff mixed up right now. Who knows?
no,
Well, I
that's
know Megan
what it
Moy
means.
lived behind them, and Megan Moy lived right in the general vicinity of 1122 King Road. Her and her parents lived in a house that was owned by Dan Etsy.
Okay, who's Megan Moy? Remind me.
Uh, well, if you remember that one body cam footage, the cop walking up asking Xana if Megan lived there.
Oh, uh huh. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because no, he accidentally called Maddie Megan.
Megan.
Yeah. No, he was trying to say Maddie, but he called her Megan.
Oh, okay. So it's just messing up words, Megan, Moigan, or Mogan, well, like just spelling her name wrong.
Yeah.
He straight up asked for Megan when he should have asked for Maddie because that's who he had talked to.
Okay, that's the one where they called her on the phone,
Yes.
Yeah.
which
But
is still
I don't
suspect
think it
also.
had to do with the other an actual Megan. I think the officer actually messed up calling her that name. But that's my opinion. That's what it seemed like to me from the body cam.
Yeah, and I mean, I couldn't get past. I couldn't get past him calling stupid effing kids.
Everything that they did was wrong. They were on private
Yeah.
property. They don't know whose backpack that was. They illegally dumped out that alcohol.
Oh yeah.
You know, it wouldn't be uncommon to have a cooler sitting on my porch. What's to say that they can't come on my property and disregard? And even though you're
Oh, look,
renting,
abandoned
when you're
property.
when you're renting, it's your property because you're renting it. They didn't
Right.
have a right to do all that, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I
It's
agree with your opinion, Rock. I mean, especially when the boy back,
we're cutting out. Your mic
standing
is
there
cutting
dumping
out.
out alcohol to him.
You might cut out there, Robert. What were you saying?
Yeah, when that boy came out and said hey, that was my backpack. Oh well, we thought it was abandoned property. Oh hey, look, this is abandoned property. When the boy came
Yeah,
out of the house, said, hey, that was my backpack.
those guys were just being bullies, basically. That's basically being a grown man bully,
Well, they were saying it on
Yeah.
their body cam, like they were happy they were doing it. And I
right?
mean, how more they wasn't discreet about it.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It was actually
And
kind of
it kind of makes me
embarrassing.
wonder if, yeah, it was. And kind of makes me wonder if Brett Payne was in that group somewhere dumping this stuff out.
Well, we could see the two officers that was dumping it out. So
Yeah. The
Is it
Blaker and then
weird?
somebody else.
I was wondering, like, it's weird that there's like, what do you think? There's five cops there. Let's say, let's say there's only five cops there for some reason for a noise complaint. But like, why don't we see any of the other cameras? How come there are no other cameras? Or other like each of those officers has a camera on their shirt, right? Like, why don't we see the four different angles?
are you saying that the night that they dumped out the alcohol, you think there was 5 officers there?
It
'Cause
looks like it when they're standing by the door, doesn't it? It looks like there's at least four. I was making a jump with the fifth officer. It looks like there's at least four. Am I wrong?
Oh, I guess I'm blind because I thought there was two.
Is it just the two? Well, so there's the two outside, but I swear there's like two other guys who like are wandering around the house. But it might be all the kids who came outside. I could have sworn there was like an older officer, a younger officer. The younger officer and the older officer are like standing there dumping out the beers, and then a couple other officers are there for I couldn't. It didn't make sense to me, and maybe I'm just seeing that. Maybe it's all in my head.
Maybe I was just stuck on them dumping out the alcohol that they didn't have a right to do. They were on private property.
Right? I might be
Like,
joining videos. Like, what's the other video where the guy walks around the corner and tells them to get down off the porch? Isn't that the same video where he's like, he sees people on the back deck and he's like, you need to come to the door?
oh, that was a different one because that's when
Oh,
I think that's a different one.
okay. Well, then maybe I'm off on how many officers there. Cause I was thinking like, doesn't each officer has their own camera, obviously. On that one video that we saw where the officer walks around to the back porch where he shouldn't have done either, probably, right? Like that's like not.
Well, they
Yeah.
did it because a lot of times it was outside. I'll be honest, I think they used the slider more than they did the front door, in my
Oh yeah.
opinion.
Oh yeah, that would of
But
course.
let's look at I watch Truth and Transparency. I'll give a
Uh-huh.
shout out to Lana. I like her, and she
Yeah.
got all that body cam. And let me tell you, them undercover officers wore zip up jackets, and they would zip up their body cam so we couldn't see anything.
Oh yeah.
So you could be right. There could be plenty there. I mean, there's so much in this case and so much to try to remember, and then we keep going over it, and then we find new stuff. So
Huh?
you very well could be right, Sophie. Like I could be totally lost at this moment as to whether there was 4, but I know there was 2, and one of them was really heavy set, and he was explaining to the other officer like he was a training officer what they were
Oh
Yeah.
right.
doing and what the
Yeah.
campus police would do. and what the frats would do and all that. So I think I
Right.
Yeah, that was
focused on all
Blaker.
that.
Yeah, that was the heavyset officer Blaker.
Yeah. Well, I try
Hey,
not to
AR.
call out the
AR's
names,
in
but
chat.
I see AR. Yeah, we love AR.
Hey,
But yeah, I mean, they harassed those kids on a daily. And it just makes me wonder when we watched the video from Sloan Bella the other night, if they came to the house just to like let the kids let the kids know, hey, we're watching.
right. It's creepy. Like those police officers didn't feel safe to me the way they did that, and it's kind of upsetting. Like if I was a parent and my kids were in school there, I do want police officers to like be helpful,
Yeah,
be community wide, like helpful, those things, and keep my children safe, keep everybody's children safe. But the way they acted in that video
yeah,
makes me question their ethics. It doesn't look like a healthy situation for police officers to talk like that.
Yeah, for sure. What is that banging? Does anybody else hear banging?
I don't know. I thought somebody was sharpening knife.
no,
It's like ding, 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 ding.
No.
Yeah, it is. I hear it. Anyway, it don't matter. I hear it right there, whatever it is. Well, I'm so glad chat's here. It's Thursday, almost the end of the week. We're almost to Friday.
Right? Oh
Yeah,
man.
and I don't know how many people celebrate St. Patty's Day, but we got the big pub crawl Saturday with all the green beer going on. And I don't drink, but I'm there to watch the party.
Yeah.
So kind of
Okay.
excited. My husband's not real happy about it because he's been working his ass off all week getting ready for it.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
What's he got to do for the party?
Oh, he runs Miller Coors, so all the green beer. That's what he does. Every
Oh
green beer
my
you get
god.
here. Yeah, I forgot how many kegs he said he did today, but oh my gosh, a lot. He does all the draft systems.
Oh,
He's the
I get
boss.
it.
He's the boss.
I'll try to not to distribute too much green beer tomorrow.
And usually we don't drink. It's not because we don't like it. It's just or judge people. It's just something that we've never did. We'll have a Bloody Mary here and there, but it's not big drinkers. I like my 420. I got my med license. I like my 420. You know that.
Yeah,
That's,
your holiday's next month.
that's right. And my birthday's 4/17, but I'm having cataract surgery on my birthday. Ooh. Out of all days they could pick.
sorry about that. Streamyard booted me out for a minute. I don't know why.
That was me. I did it. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, wow, you can do that? Cool.
You
Oh
got to
no.
laugh a little bit. Come on, guys. You know, it's the end of the week. It's been
Right?
420 is green. That's right.
I've been thinking it's Friday all day.
I knew it wasn't Friday, but listen, Friday after next. I love them movies. It's Friday, and I ain't got shit to do, and I ain't got a job, and I'm gonna get high today. Isn't that what they say?
Oh
In that,
yeah.
I love
Oh,
them movies. Then
Oh
he
Friday
yeah,
says it
after
on the
yeah.
next.
he says it on the first one.
Yeah, it cracks me up.
Uh,
Damon, pimp down, pimp down. Anyway, there's only a few movies I know the parts to, because everything else goes over my head. I don't retain it. But then movies I do, and Cheech and Chong movies, like I know every word to them too.
when Friday came
Uh,
out, I kept telling everybody they were going to make a sequel and they were going to call it Saturday. Right? See, it was kind of funny then too. And then they made a sequel and it wasn't called Saturday, and I was so disappointed.
Yeah, no, it's Friday after next, the next
Yeah.
Friday. Yeah, they're all good. I see
no, it
Nina.
was
I see
Friday,
Nina in the
next
chat.
Friday, and Friday after next.
Oh, there you go,
Yeah.
Robert. They're
Yeah, I'll
hilarious.
drop the
Listen,
link
I
to
know
Nina.
every one of them. You know, barbecue so good make you want to slap your mother.
Oh yeah.
Especially
I
that one
think I
part.
watched Go ahead.
where Debo and Tyrone's in the back of the uh,
Chick-
dog catching mobile. I put hot sauce on my burrito, baby.
I think my husband's favorite part is the barbecue. That's for Nina, right? That link.
Yes.
Yeah. I think my husband's favorite part is barbecue so good make you want to slap your mama.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like use most often the Indo smells more like outdo.
Mm-hmm. Now, hey, that lady need to line that shit up. Her mustache, remember? You need to line that up.
Yep. Oh my god. I
Oh my
watched
God.
so much of that
We're
movie in
so off
college.
track, but hey, it's
Yeah. Sorry.
Thursday. No, it's all good. It's Thursday. Waiting for people to get in here. Get a good crew going here. We got Nina. Hopefully she's coming up and keep going over some
There
Demetrius.
she is. The mysterious
Welcome.
Nina.
Welcome, Nina.
Fabulous.
Hey, how are y'all?
Hey, good. How are
Well,
you?
I'm frustrated now because I had my headset and then I went into StreamYard and it disconnected me.
well, I just
Um,
kicked Robert off. It was real easy to do. No, I didn't do it.
nah.
But
Do you know how to fix it? I can tell you how to get back in there.
Please do.
Yeah, go into on the bottom row, go into more and then settings and then audio and it'll let you pick drop down menu.
Well, it says headset.
Yeah. It,
Yeah.
I try to put it on like here's what I have to do sometimes, like put it on speakerphone and let it be on speaker.
Wow.
Let it be on
I just
speakerphone for a
chose
sec
the wrong one.
and then put it back to the other one.
So for future reference, y'all, it's Bluetooth, not headset.
Mm,
Semantics, I guess.
I guess.
Adam says, LOL, Rancho Cucamonga.
It is us. This is Rancho Cucamonga going on here. That's funny, Adam. um, we were talking about Demetrius and Emma before we
Yeah.
started talking about
Friday.
right. I don't know. I'm like trying not to make more joke quote movie quotes on the phone. But what do you guys think? What do you think, Nina? Did you hear what we were talking about?
I didn't hear a word. No.
she heard.
She
Yeah,
heard us.
I'm looking for that I have a picture I was wanting to send y'all with the little trail.
Oh, the trail from Emma's house to the house, or Emma's
Yes,
parents. I
yes,
guess
yes.
we should clarify that.
Is there both? Is there both there, Nina? Do you know?
Is there what?
It is her parents' house, right? Uh,
Well, it's actually, yeah, they actually sold it because they divorced.
But she was living there, right,
Yeah.
at the time? Okay.
Well, I mean, that was her address. I couldn't tell you like if she stayed there, but that was her legal address.
All
Gotcha.
right.
Understood. I never stay where my legal address says I am. I'm in too many
Ah,
Right.
places.
oh my God! I have to get my emissions checked. Just joking. Just joking. That's not.
Well, I think we got a couple of videos to watch and then anything that Nina's come up with.
Well, unfortunately, I put it all in Ashley's DM, and she's headed to work.
Oh
Okay,
no!
well, that's okay. We can watch a few, we got a few videos that we're going to watch, and
That'll
it's
work.
all good. We'll work it out. Make sure you guys
Good.
hit that thumbs
Good.
up. I got to hit that thumbs up myself.
Yeah.
This is our last live for a couple days, correct, Robert?
Correct.
I'm going to take a little bit of a break. St. Patty's Day's coming. Hopefully, everybody has a great St. Patty's Day. My Jayhawks are out of the Big 12 tournament, so I might catch up
Yeah.
on some movies or something, relax a little bit, give myself a little break.
Yeah.
Are we ready, guys?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Today y'all are going to go down a Reddit rabbit hole with me. When sharing Emma Bailey and Demetrius Robinson court case, I stumbled upon some Reddit posts while researching. Allegedly, E and D's close friend is speaking out on Reddit, and I'm taking you with me to read what he or she has to say. Claiming they saved Caden's life, let's get into the posts. I talk to Emma at least once a week, and talk to Demetrius 3+ times a day. Like I have said in the past, they may not be the best citizen out there, but in this situation they are truly innocent. They were the ones who drove Caden to the hospital and saved his life. Demetrius literally performed CPR on this kid to save him. I am sorry that Caden decided to continue partying after he was discharged. You all are too funny. I am actually good friends with Emma and Demetrius, to the point where I still talk to them 2+ times a day while they are fighting for their innocence. I won't go too far into details, but that night, it was Emma and Demetrius that took Caden to the hospital. Demetrius even performed CPR on Caden. The hospital released Caden, then Caden and his friend roommate guy went and continued to party that night. Caden then OD again and sadly passed away that morning. So, how is it the people who took Caden to the hospital the one under arrest and not anyone else? By the way, that white substance they were caught with was bee pollen. They were arrested while leaving the gym after a workout. I know people are quick to judgment these days. But these two people, good or bad, are truly innocent in this situation. I am not saying they are the most innocent people in the world, but they are innocent in this situation. Just like any court case, your past shouldn't matter. They should only look at the evidence that they have, which is nearly nothing and only hearsay. That drug conviction that he has is from years ago when he was in his 20s. They're good friends of mine, so of course I will defend them. But they never sold a fentanyl-laced drug. The toxicology report came back as so. Just because somebody says they sold fentanyl doesn't mean that they did. The physical evidence goes against what the article says. Unlike most of you, I have actually read both of their discoveries and it's a freaking joke. The whole court case is one guy trying to cover his own ass so he doesn't go to prison. He was even caught lying under oath. Oh, I am not kidding. Sorry that you think everyone is a druggie when you know so little about them. I can promise you they do not touch downers. Both of them have lost too many loved ones to opioids. I know it is easy to judge people when online, but please take a minute and realize these are other people's lives. Imagine going out with some friends and saving a person's life, then getting reprimanded for it. Or do opioids. Yes, she has partied a lot in her life but would never touch a downer. She is highly against downers, to the point where if you do them she will not be around you. Same with Demetrius, he has lost way too many loved ones to the opioid crisis. It's a sad situation, but what does her DUI a month before her arrest have to do with this court trial? Emma Bailey and Demetrius will be going to different court dates this week, and next I'm going to try and set in on the trial so I can share information with everyone. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment your thoughts on this video. See you in the next video.
None.
You've had something.
Some?
Yeah, you've had some.
Not enough to drive.
Okay. Hop out for me, would you?
Not enough to drive? Was that what she said?
She's like really intoxicated in that video. Like
But not enough to drive.
because it's the same thing she does. It's just her scrabbing her words because she's drunk. So she, like, when she does the numbers thing, when he's like, here, count to whatever, she keeps repeating herself because that's what your brain does.
It cracks me up. It's like the guy in the brown at the apartment. He said, I don't live here, but my roommate does. And I'm sitting there going, did I hear that guy right? He don't live here, but his roommate does. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. That's so true. I've heard somebody else. Yeah, I heard, I hear Nina say something similar to that quite often. And I think, which I think is pretty hilarious. Yeah. And it is kind of, it's exactly, it's that funny.
Well, you know, the other thing I want to say is, so she said, I understand she's friends with them and she's defending them. But what is she considering opiates then? She's saying they would never do opiates.
Like, no, she said they would never do downers, which I think is the worst part of that video.
But she said that Demetrius lost too many family members to opiates. Like, we should hear that again. Because he said that he
Yeah.
would never do that because he lost too many family members to opiates.
Right. But what we discovered in that in Caden's case, he wasn't taking opiates. That was cocaine. So you can't really say she doesn't touch downers instead of she doesn't use drugs, is all I'm saying. That's what I heard in that sentence. I heard what was not said.
Yeah, but why would they do Narcan if he didn't do like who overdoses
For
on
the fentanyl.
cocaine?
For the fentanyl, because the
Okay,
fentanyl
fentanyl
still
is an
gonna
opiate.
right. But it was not so you get like they get, however much cocaine, and then there's a tiny like piece of salt size piece of fentanyl in it.
Yeah, I get that, but they just said no opiates and then said no opiates in their system. Fentanyl is an opiate. Am I
Right.
wrong?
No,
I
it
mean, I'm
is.
not a
It is.
doctor.
It's an opioid for sure, but it's not. It could still have caused it being in the cocaine. Get it? So he wasn't doing. He doesn't know he's doing it. It's mixed in with these drugs. Somebody stepped on the drugs and they added something else.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there, Sophie, but the lady that is talking is friends with Emma and Demetrius and says they would never sell that. They would never do that because their family don't do opiates. Like, but this kid had opiates in his system. I'm so confused
Yeah.
on it.
Well, they didn't make those drugs. They don't know what they bought.
Oh, I believe they know what they're selling. I believe for every second they know what they're selling.
But
That's my opinion.
I like your opinion.
I like your
I mean,
opinion too.
yeah, I mean,
I'm like, it's super valid. It's. I agree.
if you're a plug or whatever they call them, you know
Yeah.
usually what you're selling. When you say that, Nina, if you're somebody out there selling, you usually know what you're selling.
Well, I mean, with the fent though, golly, that's a hard one.
Right. Like those boys in Kansas, they didn't know.
I mean,
They
I
weren't.
understand what she's saying though. I'm not being the purchaser, being the plug or hire, because usually the ones that add the fent, they're usually the bigger fish, not the little guppies.
Right.
And so, see, I can see where you're going with that, and I totally agree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean it can be both ways, but most of the time they know what they're selling.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about it though is ooh.
Can I
Drug
say
dealers
this?
you're just not supposed to get high on your own supply.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry,
Demetrius.
Rock. I mean, we watched it Friday. We're
Yeah,
talking about Friday.
yeah, but Demetrius gave CPR, so he damn well knew there was something in there other than just cocaine, because he was
Right.
giving the kid CPR, and I have to give him kudos for that.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I
If it,
find it strange. Like, I think they know what they were selling. Do I know what they were selling? No. I just
look,
know
I don't.
that.
How do we not know if somebody could have overdose on cocaine and have the same reaction?
I
But see,
don't ever. How easy is it to overdose on cocaine? Because I've never heard of anybody overdosing on cocaine.
look, I'm gonna be honest with you. When they told me that my son died of IV meth, I'm like, you can't overdose on meth. What was in it? Because I've been geetered out of my head before. Okay, I mean,
Right. Right. You know.
I just, but come to find out what it was he had high blood pressure and he kept doing it, and so it just kept affecting his heart. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, me personally, and I mean, I'm not going to. I know that, like, okay, like I've been quit, right? I've been clean now. I've never used a nickel, never ever, and I have nothing against anybody that does. Just my way was no better. I mean, they're all wrong. But the thing about it is, like, as long as I've been away from it, there's no way that I could go back and say, oh, well, I did this much the last time I did it. I'd be
Right.
geared for 10 days, because
Right.
of my tolerance level, And I think that that's what's happening in some of these other cases, especially with like the ones that are doing heroin and stuff like that, is that when they go back to it, when they relapse, and I'm just going to pick a number because I'm not a nurse or anything, so y'all don't like say I did a 0.4 or whatever in the needle, they can't go back and do a 0.4, but they think they can.
Right.
Right.
And the thing about it too is with the fent, and actually is in here, I think that there may be other medical people, but I know that there is a big difference between like the fentanyl that's in a hospital that you use for like, surgeries and stuff like that, and then the stuff that's on the street, which is carfentanil, and
Yeah.
the it's not like when they put it in there, it's not distributed evenly. I mean, you might
Right.
what is it they call it? The chocolate chip effect, chocolate chip cookie effect. We might eat the same cookie and you might get a chocolate chip and I might not.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's kind of what am I like. I realize this. Maybe it doesn't everybody. I'm sure you do, Nina. That drugs get stepped on at different
oh
levels,
yeah,
and they
oh yeah,
get and the person who's probably the plug selling you the drugs, probably not the person who did it. Probably
right.
doesn't have any knowledge of.
I think that's what I was trying to say
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
now I will say that if the plug has been plugging when he wasn't supposed to be plugging,
Yep.
he may add something to save his butt.
Like baby powder, but probably not.
But you know what I'm saying,
Fentanyl.
right? But and the thing about it is, people are like, you can't tell me that they're putting it in there. Why would they be showing their customer base? Well, that's not what they're doing. They think that it won't kill anybody or whatever, blah blah blah. And at this point, they don't care. I mean, there's so much
They just
of
want
it.
to get their fix, right?
Well, I mean, what I'm saying, I'm talking as far as selling, because see what happens is with that. Okay, like I'll be honest with you. On day 2, nobody wants to be around Kelly on day 2. I mean, my kids would be, Mama's on day 2, just leave her alone. I mean, the devil hides, and if you get something that's got fen in it, honey, your withdrawals can start within 45 minutes.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
yeah, I mean, you're already getting those tight muscles. You're already getting the pains and the aches and the, stuff like that. Now, coming off meth and stuff like that is nothing like coming off heroin. I've never been dope sick. I've never been, and I mean, God bless their souls. I mean, I've seen people coming off of heroin and oh my gosh. I mean,
Yes.
but with meth, it's just, well, let's see, I've been up for 14 days. I've been seeing the devil in the mirror and, my dead daddy's talking to me, so I might need to go to sleep. And I've already
Right.
tore a hole in the mini blinds. And I mean,
Oh my gosh. I have so many funny thoughts to that are inappropriate for this channel, but
I'm not a
But
drug addict, but my girlfriend is.
no, exactly. I don't do drugs, but I know a lot of people who do. So like I'm just saying, I have had one friend who passed away from a heroin overdose, and that was basically what we were told, that it
Right.
was because he'd been clean. He'd told me all sorts of stories. He'd been totally clean, and then when he decided to use again or whatever triggered him to want to do it again, he took too much because he'd been clean for long enough to have a lower tolerance.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I know a lady now. Let's see, she was clean 21 years, and they found her in the bathroom with a needle in her arm.
Oh my God, it's heartbreaking.
Yep. And I'll tell anybody, they're like, "Oh, Nina, I'm so ashamed. I relapsed. Are you breathing?" That's all I care about. That is all I care about. At this point, I don't give a damn about a relapse. Let's just keep you alive.
Right? Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Yeah. Get past it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they don't want to relapse. Like,
No.
they beat themselves up more because they
Oh, yeah.
relapse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my friend used to tell me the saddest. I'll never forget that he told me when he did heroin, it made him feel dead.
See, I just
Wow.
can't.
And he said he liked that, and I thought like that is it's so sad on so many levels, right? Like it wasn't just it had nothing, not even including just the addiction. What part of his life? What caused him to feel like that felt better?
Do you know how? I mean, hell, I don't even know if y'all care. We might need to be doing our show.
Yeah, we were talking about, but we're
Yeah.
talking about the drug dealer issue part of this show.
Right.
It's real. We're talking. I mean, that's realistically, none of us are 20-year-old college kids who buy
Right.
drugs from other 20-something-year-old college kids who have 40-year-old boyfriends, and then like, I mean, it's just kind of hard to keep up with the times of things like that because when I was 20 years old, if fentanyl existed, nobody sure knew about it. It sure wasn't
Right.
a thought. And now any person I know that's at any concert or doing anything that might be any way related to somebody's going to use drugs is a hell of a lot more scared.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, Tamla, because my daughter's been clean for 4 years, and but you got to consider we live on Meth Mountain. I don't know if y'all have ever watched Meth Mountain on A&E.
Are you in
And
North California?
no, we are in Albertville, Alabama.
Oh, different mountain. Gotcha.
And so anyway, it's so funny because I mean we shouldn't make jokes, but we're like, even if we had ever thought about relapsing, Marty's a truck driver, and I'm like, okay, you're not leaving me behind to call Marty and say, by the way, and Tamara's like, well, I'm not making that phone call. And I thought, guess we're staying clean then.
Right?
I
Right?
mean, because it's something you have to think about.
Right. Because
Yeah,
you
and
could
hopefully
die.
we're not triggering anybody in the chat. Like,
Oh, yes, I am so sorry.
Oh,
definitely.
yeah. Huge
Um,
apologies. This is a conversation not of that kind of thing by any means.
right. We just hope that nobody's getting triggered,
Yeah.
but this is a conversation that needs to be had. So,
Agreed. That's exactly what I
And
think.
and please, if anybody is, do not leave this chat without reaching out to somebody, without letting somebody know, so
Any
that
of
oh,
they
us.
can
for
check
sure,
on you or something.
Any
for
of us.
sure. We're a family here. We definitely will help you. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I do have a question for the panel. Do we feel that Brian somehow met Emma at a pool party?
I don't
No.
think that was proven. I mean, it's clickbait everywhere, but
Yeah,
I ain't seen no.
I couldn't find
Where's the videos?
photos. I couldn't find photos of either of them at a
Me
pool
either.
party that look like the same thing, or him at a pool party at all, really.
Well, I do know he went to a pool party, but I, I
But you
don't see
couldn't
it.
find any pictures with Emma
No,
and Brian in
I
it because
have
I know I could.
nothing.
Yeah.
The only things I think could connect him to any of the victims is still vegan food or drugs. And that's why the drugs thing is hard. You look at those girls and you're like, no, people don't use drugs, but whatever. But his setup is college all day, criminal justice stuff all day with those same people all
I
day.
think he might have smoked marijuana, but he might have did heroin back in the day.
Well, now
But you're
they said
talking
that they
about a
found
PhD student.
a green leafy substance in
That would be
uh
Um,
marijuana.
right.
but it's legal there.
It's legal in
Yeah.
Washington.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wasn't saying anything about it. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
no,
that
but it was
Well,
found.
I
It was
I
found.
kind of get a little
Yeah.
sideways when people, not you guys, but when people say, he was a heroin addict. Well, they've said he was for a year, but I mean, I find it hard. I know there's functioning addicts. Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
but at the level that he is in school, how would he function to be a PhD student if he was doing heroin? I
Now,
don't know. I've
see,
never tried it.
He would
yeah,
do heroin
I,
on Friday when he got done with school, and then he would be totally sober on Sunday night when he was trying to do his homework for Monday.
See, I find that from everything that I see,
I
because
just made
I
that
don't
up.
have any friends that does that. They mostly are bud smokers,
Yeah,
marijuana.
like Adam said, it's the white girl diet. And see, that's how my mother put me on prescription diet pills when I was 11.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
So, I mean, that'll pretty much do you in as far as some body image and confidence,
Yeah.
And so, from then I went, of course, you get at 11, you're on, prescription. And y'all, back then it was called Mazanor. It wasn't Adipex or anything like that. I don't know why I remember the name, though, but the name of it was called Mazanor.
I think I see the comment, Robert, and I don't think BK was an incel at all. I don't know that he was a ladies' man, but he looked normal to me. I'm sure he got his fair share of ladies or whatever sex he liked, but I didn't find him as an incel, personally.
Who asked?
What do you guys think? On the ticker there, it said, "Is BK an incel or a ladies' man?" They need to pick one.
Oh, I can't
Well,
pick
the thing
one.
about it is, I think that incel is a word that is so easily thrown around. And oh my gosh, no, he is not an incel, because let me tell you, the studies that I've done on incel, I mean, oh my gosh, that's a whole different breed of animal right there.
He
Well,
looked normal to me. If I
I
passed
mean,
him on a campus, I wouldn't be looking at his eyebrows and his eyes going, "Oh yeah, this guy's a creep."
at all.
to me, he may be a arrogant, introvert, narcissist, know-it-all, or whatever, But incel, no. Mm-mm, no, 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 no. Honey, they have their own language.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with
If
I
he
that.
was
mean,
truly a quadruple murderer, the girl that he went out on a date with, he would have. Yeah, he would. She wouldn't be running around going on press tours about how she dated Brian, how she went on a date with Brian Kohberger.
Well, let's get something right.
If he truly was
Anybody
a
can snap,
homicidal
though.
maniac like they claim he is.
But
Hmm.
anybody
and
can snap at any given time. So
Rondi's absolutely right. Does anybody really know who Brian is?
No. And
no,
I actually disagree with you guys. I do think he's an incel because
Really?
I don't know if you guys consider all kinds of incels. Because I know some guys like Brian Kohberger who are very, very intelligent. And I almost, in my head, I feel like it's called maybe like Sigma male.
I think he was getting more action than a lot of guys out there that's not an
No,
incel.
no, I don't
Yeah, he
think so.
had the Asian girlfriend, and I was watching them videos, and believe
Oh,
me,
that's
he
funny.
was he was getting some stuff.
I think he's hella awkward around women. I don't think so. I don't see it. But I do think he's not bad looking. And he's not weird looking to a point where if I saw that guy someplace, he wouldn't creep me out. I wouldn't be like, I will walk on the other side of the room to get away from this creeper. But like, he's nice
Yeah.
looking.
There's a
He's
difference between an introvert and an incel, though.
right. And the reason I think incel when I think of him is because I think you're wrong. And I don't think he gets the ladies. And I think he has a little bit of, and the reason I'm saying this is back to his writing about his, vision, what was it? Snow
That
vision or what
snow,
was
but that was before college. Even
visual
his
snow?
neighbors
Right.
saw him with the Asian lady. There's
Right.
pictures of him with his Asian girlfriend.
I didn't, there's not pictures that's his girlfriend though. We don't know that's his girlfriend. And I think we would know there was a girlfriend. Don't you think
There,
by now?
there's pictures of them together.
Like hanging off each other? Are there pictures where they're like holding hands?
There was some pretty wild pictures. If you ever watched another channel that I helped, she had a lot of that lady had a lot of stuff with Brian and that Asian girl in it. I forgot her name, the Asian's name.
Yeah.
I'm not mentioning the creator's name. You can drag it out of me if you wanted to.
We don't need it.
But
Well,
she had some
Jeffrey, it's
good
just no
stuff.
comment.
But let's say that now I'm lost on your joke, but I don't know. I don't think he gets the ladies. I haven't seen any of the pictures of him with this Asian woman, and I feel like unless they're like making out on film, I'm not even gonna go that he has a girlfriend. Like, I see this guy was by himself. He was by himself. He went out to eat by himself.
But the
He,
neighbor said that he had the Asian girl over a lot.
yeah, I have a lot of people over at my house a lot, but they're not my boyfriend.
But he's an incel. Like,
But I think that's not part of it. He still needs to get work done. He's still going to have to collaborate with other people in college. He's probably at like whatever part of where he's supposed to be like creating things, right? Like he's like thesis level, almost done with school. Where I would assume he's actually like working with other students there. I don't know, because I've never heard till you guys just said that right now that
I'm gonna be honest with you. Enan Harsh is closer to being an incel than
I actually
Kohberger.
think they both are. I think
but
they both are. I don't see
I
a
want
big
you guys
difference.
to pet his cat.
I'd like to drink out of his half-drank bottle of wine already. I'd like to have that bottle he opened already. That he's not going to
You are
finish.
disowned. You are disowned, Sophie.
I'm not petting anybody's cat. I know that much.
Well, hey, that's another rabbit hole to go in, Nina, because I know them pictures. I saw them.
I want to
I
see it.
sent
I got to see it. Somebody's got to show me.
Yeah,
I
we will
sent
find
y'all
them.
at
I got to see if there's like, does he got a look in his eye? Is he looking at her like, that's my girlfriend?
Well, the neighbor sure acted like it was his girlfriend, and I wish I had them pictures.
Ashley and Sophie is calling out the incel community tonight.
I'm just saying. I've had so many. I'm from Alaska, and there's 4 dudes for every woman to start off with, and so I grew up with so many men in my life that I think I have a whole different perspective when I'm outside of that society of seeing how men act, and I know guys who are computer people who rarely leave the house and don't date at all because they don't want to get off the computer. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, that's a whole, there's a huge amount of society that does that.
But see, the thing about it is y'all got to stop considering when you talk about incel, I mean, incel is considered like a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, but what they're saying the incel is he is decidedly celibate on, like, he wants to be celibate.
Yeah, okay, but what I'm saying is it's much more than that.
Right now, and I get it. I know there's
like this major hate.
I've been on 4chan. I got what you're saying. That it's like a terrorist group.
I don't know. I guess there's a difference.
We're talking about the paparazzi right there, though.
There may be a difference between mommy issues and an incel.
I hope. Yeah, I'm like, oh, what a weird question.
Well, you know, also I think guys, they like to hang out with guys. Like, you looked at the guys at the frat and their parties. It was mostly all guys there. There was a few girls there, and I still see this. Like when I was going to college, it seemed like us girls, we had boyfriends.
Okay, who keeps booting my ass?
Together. Do what?
StreamYard just booted me again.
Oh,
well, I'm kind of tired of your shit, so I just do it. No, I'm just kidding. Robert, I'm going to send you these trail pictures. You want them in your text or do you want them in a Discord message? Is he gone again?
Did you get booted?
A Discord message.
Oh.
Okay, making sure. I'll do it right now.
So I do. I think there's like I get what you're saying because so therein lies that perspective of watching any of the videos of any of the creators and seeing they're talking about incels and not seeing it from the perspective of it being some like 35, 40 something year old guy who is single, perhaps by choice, because they'd rather hang out with their guy friends anyway, whatever that is, or there's also the thought of, I'd almost compare it to like, I mean, I don't know that much about the smiley face killer thing, but is that like sort of that where it's like a network of these people who are terrorists because they're going to hurt people? Is that what you mean, Nina?
Hey, does chat think Brian was dating anyone? Seen the video of the girl who said she dated him?
Yeah, but hold on a second. Did you ask a question, Sophie?
Yeah, but Nina's muted. I didn't realize that.
Oh, maybe Nina don't realize she's muted.
Or maybe she needed to mute herself.
Oh, I'm sorry. My granddaughter was talking to me.
Oh,
See.
Sophie had a question real quick, and then we'll do the comment.
Okay.
I was just saying, I don't know, now I repeat the whole thing. I was saying that, like, if you could consider, like, the incel as, like, what I was saying, like, some 40-year-old guy who's, hangs out with his guy friends, wants to be single, is single, doesn't really care, sort of thought process. And, like, or you can consider the incel being, like, an underground terrorist group that's connected through 4chan.
Yes, the second one.
Right. So I think that you get different perspectives when you see it from different types of media.
Right.
Like maybe we see different, not you and I in particular, but just people in general see different kinds of media. And so when they're saying incel on these things, what I think they're talking about, which is Enon and which is Brian,
Right.
is guys that don't do anything to go be in a relationship. They're not out going to social things where they would meet people for that sort of thing. They're at home and they're playing they're playing online games with other people that they may or may not know, and then they're not hanging out to date people because they don't have time for that anyways, and they don't really care.
Right. Well, see, now I do know. Okay, so when he got kicked out of high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he got kicked out of high school and he moved to that little town that starts with an E, in Pennsylvania, he moved out of his parents' home and he moved there. And the guy and the girl introduced him to H. Okay, him and the girl. I mean, they, I guess in a way they could have hooked up. You know what I'm saying? And he really, wanted to go there and everything, and they had a good relationship. Unfortunately, she OD'd. And so then after that, the guy that had introduced him to it, he OD'd.
Wow.
But in between that, there was a friend of theirs that was in a head-on collision, and it killed him and the two people in the other car. So I'd say probably within a year, 2 years of him being on heroin and everything, he lost 1, 2, 3, probably about 5 friends.
Oh, wow. So, Robert, you was asking
I
about
already got it
Ashley's,
pulled up.
but she had a question first. I just want to make sure that Sophie got her question answered. Ashley has a question up there. Am I muted?
No, I was
you're
reading.
not muted.
Okay, Ashley has a question up there.
Where's it at? I don't see it.
Says,
Oh,
does
I
Chad
have
think
seen that
Brian was
video
dating?
where the
Anyone
girl.
seen the video of the girl who said she dated him? So she wanted to
Yeah,
know,
where
does
he told her
Chad
she
think
had.
Brian was dating? Anyone seen the video of the girl who he said dated, or she said dated him?
Talking about the girl who said he was creepy.
Yeah, where he told her she had good birthing thighs.
Well, there was a couple. I mean, there was the friend's sister too that was kind of weird, but she definitely wanted to be on camera. I felt like.
Sure.
Yeah, the Tinder date.
No, the one that the brother was friends with Brian, and she saw him at a wedding, and he acted weird, and I was like, "What? You don't remember that girl?"
No.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now, the first one that's the first one that came out. She came out on TikTok,
But
and
I think she just wanted attention. It was really weird to me.
oh yeah, yeah. Because
Okay,
she actually came back and apologized because she said that she brought out names of people that she should have never brought out.
well, she probably should have never stuck her nose in it, honestly.
Yeah, no kidding. No joke. Did everybody get dropped right there? Is it just you and me, Nina? Oh, there you
Stop
are.
booting me, Rock Chalk.
She booted herself this time, Robert, and you. There she
Stop
is.
booting me, Rock
Yes, I
Chalk.
got booted too. Yes, it was
Don't
great.
make me have to separate the two of y'all.
Yeah, let's see that video real quick. So let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah,
Yeah, after you booted me again, Rock Chalk.
That's why you booted me. Great.
Work to study incels and mass violence. And Dr. Daly, it's great to have you. I think the most important thing, before we even begin our conversation, is to kind of define incels and discuss why that's important when we look at this particular case involving Brian Kohberger and the allegations against him. So, as simple as you can, give our audience the real Reader's Digest version of what an incel is and why there's so much connection to Kohberger.
Thanks for having me on. Incels, very simply put, are men who are involuntarily celibate. They want to be in romantic and sexual relationships, but they can't achieve them for any number of reasons, including their physical appearance, mental illness, or personality problems, or just that they've missed milestones in their lives. So they generally exist on the internet, and they communicate with each other on forums, and they are notorious for vile language to discuss women, attractive women, sex havers. So they're mad at men too. And so they really feel very spurned by society. And I think we've gotten to this point with Brian Kohberger because we're still looking for a motive. And because these were attractive young women, one with her boyfriend. So I think it's not a far leap for a lot of people to question if Brian Kohberger is an incel.
So one of the prevailing theories right now is that there's a connection to Elliot Rodger. Elliot Rodger is considered like Saint ER, they call him. They think he's the father of the incel movement. In 2014, he killed 6 people and wounded more than 12 near UC Santa Barbara. And he wrote a manifesto. And on page 118 of his manifesto, and there's a reason that I seized that particular passage. I just want to read it. All right, here's how it goes. Women must be punished for their crimes of rejecting such a magnificent gentleman as myself. All of those popular boys must be punished for enjoying heavenly lives and having sex with all the girls while I had to suffer in lonely virginity. I lived in a college town full of young, attractive students who partied and had sex all the time, and I didn't get to experience any of it. And now we learn that there was one item that was seized from Brian Kohberger's parents' home in Pennsylvania, and it's only described as a book with underlining on page 118. The problem I have here is that it would be a perfect connection if the manifesto was a book, but it's not. It's an online thing. So this is a tricky thing. If Elliot Rodger's manifesto was printed out and bound and made into a book, and page 118 was highlighted, I could see the connection between Brian Kohberger, who some think had the Facebook handle Papa Roger, commenting on the murders and having a lot of intimate knowledge about the murders before we all knew about it. But that is it's awfully coincidental that they seized something that's underlined with on page 118.
It certainly is. And there are many concerning things throughout that Isla Vista shooter's writing that could have resonated with someone who is isolated or frustrated. It's like you said, though, the only thought that gives me pause is that it is an online document. It's possible he could have had it printed and bound, which I've actually done with the same document for research. But it also could have been any number of criminology or criminal justice related books. A lot of it's just the content that we consume in doctoral programs and in our work.
So much of this is more than likely going to be revealed in evidence once we eventually can, get beneath the gag order close to trial date or within the trial itself. But it will be fascinating and certainly ripe for a new conversation. Dr. Daly, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to News.
What?
Well, interesting.
Okay, get Ashley Banfield off my screen.
Yeah, I don't like her. I'm not a
I
fan.
think I was just about to write in chat. Like, is that hell of a stretch to pick which book it is? Like, I don't even. Did they say it was a hand print or a printed book?
They've said so much. They've speculated so much. They also
Right.
said that it was the professor that wrote the book about the BTK. Now,
Okay.
listen, me and Robert are both from where the BTK's from. BTK was my husband's neighbor for 10 years. I don't see anything connected between these two other than she wrote a book and BK studied under her. Like, I don't see any
Right.
connections between the two.
At all.
Personally.
At all.
Yeah, no. And I sat through every bit of Dennis Rader's trial, every bit of it.
Oh, I've seen the photos of him dressed up, that he took pictures of himself, and I don't see BK being that person.
No,
No.
And he kept a souvenir of everybody. Like, not only that, he bind, tortured, and killed them. That's what BTK meant.
Right.
Like, it really frustrates me when they try to compare them to. Real bad.
Yeah, that doesn't. It's not comparable. And yeah, I just see like all I could think while we were watching that is how did they? And how do you know you print that book out how many pages it's going to be? You don't know how big somebody prints it. You don't know how big the font is. Maybe they double spaced it because that's easier for them to read. Maybe they, you know what I mean? Maybe they took out all of the double spaces after the period.
Right. And Nina sent me the manifesto
118.
for
Yeah.
Elliot Rodger, page 118, but we don't know that it was the Elliot Rodger manifesto, do we?
No.
No,
That's what I thought. Yeah.
it's just a stretch for that, where it's like, here's a book that we'd like people to think about. We're putting it out there, as opposed to, like, it could be any book. Guy could have been reading, Where the Red Fern Grows. I don't know. It's on page 130, something of that.
Not only that, we found out that a lot of things that they've said is not true. So
On that's his News Nation, right?
supposedly I think it was written in the BCA, wasn't it? Or was it just News Nation that said that?
Yeah, like, where does it tell us what?
Ashley said it was in page 118 of the PCA.
I don't think the BCA had 118 pages, did it?
That was hilarious. It's a numbers game around here.
We like our numbers.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you go, Nina?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh.
Yeah, I like numbers too. And Rock Chalk, you just won the lottery.
Oh, good.
Ooh.
Yes. Well, I've been accused of having a gambling problem, so
Same.
I really don't. But yeah, I do see where. Do we want to share that nurse that went on the Tinder date with Brian?
Why not? Why not? Let's observe. Because, like, let's assume that we see this person from the perspective of our own perspective. And it's kind of, that they're like kind of where, and like we were talking about the incel thing a second ago. Like, I don't know this woman. So it's kind of funny to me when I assume it's the woman with the colored hair.
Yeah, I'm gonna dig for it while y'all
Okay.
talk.
Right, because she has like her hair's some fancy color, but she's like, I don't know her, so it's so hard to get a gauge on somebody, you know? Like
I
like we
sent
were
it to you,
talking,
Robert.
who was talking about how, was it you and I, Rock? We're talking about how Brian does that steepling thing when he's sitting there.
Yeah, he's very confident in what he does. He's got a. They say that means you're very like he's not worried at all.
Right.
The language readers. Now, if he had his arms crossed, that's a real defensive mode. The steepling is, I got this. He's not worried at all.
And
Very confident.
I watched one of the body reader guys say that when he does the steepling, when he moves it up, it's like he's empowering himself. Is that weird? You can see in like the last time he was in court, he was doing it, and he was steepling low by the table, and then he had it up by his chin, and the guy was like commenting on how he's like, that's a sign of feeling powerful, I think. And I'm not trying to say this all powerful crazy Brian, but I'm just saying he's confident. It shows he's confident, or that's what that body language guy says.
I think he says he's confident. I
Yeah.
see it in him. He's confident. Confident.
Yeah. It's really strange, but I think he knows something.
Well, he's there for a reason. We just don't know what the reason is.
Right.
You know, but he's there for a reason.
Hey,
I've said
ladies,
this
I got it pulled
before.
up.
You found it, Robert?
Yep.
Yeah, send it to him.
Yes, that's why I love him some rock.
When University of Idaho murder suspect Brian Kohberger was arrested, this woman couldn't believe her eyes.
I recognized him immediately, and my heart just sank because I couldn't believe that. Like, I was face to face with this guy.
Nurse Haley Willett says they met on Tinder in 2015 when they were both psych majors at Pennsylvania colleges. He took her to a movie, then insisted on escorting her to her dorm room.
I was kind of afraid to say no, so I just let him come in with me.
Then he did something she says she'll never forget.
He kept trying to tickle me, and I would ask him to stop, or I'd say, "What are you doing?" And he would be like, I'm not tickling you. And he would get very serious.
Creeped out by Kohberger, she came up with a clever ruse.
I proceeded to pretend to throw up in the bathroom, hoping that, it would gross him out and he would leave.
Did it work?
Yeah. He had messaged me on Tinder and said that he was leaving and that he had a good time and that he would message me later. And then about an hour later, he messaged me and he said that I had good birthing hips. And I just never messaged him back after that.
After what happened to the 4 Idaho students, Haley thinks she had a lucky
Where's the message, though?
escape.
It could have been me.
And this woman says she knows and sympathizes with what Dylan Mortensen is going through. Dylan is one of the 2 surviving roommates and didn't call 911 for 8 hours, despite coming face to face with the killer. She told police she was in frozen shock.
She is not to blame for anything. Absolutely not.
Alana Zabel is a yoga instructor who attended Buffalo University in New York. She lived with 4 sorority sisters and suffered an eerily similar trauma. One night in 1992, a rapist broke into their home and attacked a student. Alana saw evidence that there had been a break-in and even saw bloodstains, yet she convinced herself nothing was wrong.
I felt someone in my room, and I lifted my head, and there was no one there, but then the front door closed.
She waited 6 hours to call 911 and will never forget the horrific scene she found in her housemate's bedroom.
Her mattress was 3/4 of the way soaked with blood. The walls were covered in blood. Everything was covered in blood.
She says the murders of the 4 students in Idaho brought back nightmarish memories. She fears Dylan, the surviving roommate, is likely to be traumatized for years to come.
She's going to her.
The attorney representing the family of one of the slain roommates says Dylan is also a victim in this case, adding that she provided information about the assailant, which proved beneficial.
I don't buy her being a victim.
I
Me
actually kind of
neither.
think that's weird saying that you would feel like creeped out by somebody walking you to your door. And I would prefer that. I can't like that's
I
a
want to go
gentleman.
back to the Tinder date.
No, yeah, but she like the
Where's
way
her
she said that was
receipts?
weird. How'd he end up in her house? She's
That
like,
was
he was kind of creepy. So I let him walk me to my door and then I let him inside.
And then he messaged her. Where's the messages at? Like,
Right.
there's people that just want to have fame. Okay,
yeah, the
I don't
girl
know.
the girl that just talked is the Tinder date, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
but she says that he messaged her
And
again and said she had good birthing hips. Well, why didn't Inside Edition say, "Can we see that?" Because
right?
they want it
Well,
all to
honey,
look bad against BK. Always.
when when that happened, she probably didn't think about screenshotting that one take. She probably just deleted his number and I mean,
It would still
she
be in
probably
the
never.
app, in the Tinder dating app. It would still be there.
Oh,
yeah,
It was a Tinder date app. It would still be there.
yeah.
Oh yeah, because he probably doesn't actually have her legit numbers just through the Tinder app. Is that how that
I,
works?
well, I just know that, like, way back in the day, I mean, we're talking over 25 years ago, I actually went on Match.com to look at stuff, and it's probably still there.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
some of that stuff don't go away.
That's like
But
those
they didn't even
mysterious
ask her to show
Snapchats.
it.
just
right,
like out of Jerry Maguire, how Cuba Gooding Jr. said, "Show me the money, show me the damn receipts."
Receipts, yeah. People
exactly,
just get up there.
exactly.
It's frustrating when people get up there and trying to talk about BK like they know him. None of us know him. And
Right,
we're just supposed to assume what she's saying is the truth. Show us what he's saying. Yeah.
right. Because
Convince us.
I don't know him from Adam. I can,
There's
I can
been
make,
so much.
I can make
There's
a
been so
million
much.
assumptions, but that's
There's
it.
been so much crazy stuff in this case with people just doing outrageous stuff that anything. There is not one thing that I would say that I wouldn't have a receipt for.
Yeah, I love Jamie. She's one of my best friends. But DM partying, yet traumatized. She was partying. It was after she went back home and went out. But I don't know what happened, so I don't really want to blame her. I mean, frozen shock. I don't understand any of that. But if she really was traumatized, if she was my child, I'd want her to still carry on and try to live the best life. I wouldn't want her stuck like an incel
Micah has a question for
in the
us.
house.
Right, right. No kidding.
Micah has a question for us.
I
Let
think
me
anybody
ask a
could have did this
question.
crime. Anybody
Two,
could have did this
and
crime.
maybe a man or two. Sure, Micah. I mean, like, I have a hard time believing that there wouldn't be at least a man unless we put the guys, Ethan, sorry, at like, I'm like,
Actually,
what's his
misdemeanor
name?
DM.
Not
Yeah,
only
right,
that, Emma, I'm not trying to throw Emma under the bus, but she was a wrestler and she was taking down men in her competition. So,
there's that. There's that.
they've always said if you follow true crime a lot, which obviously we're here, it's stabbings are more personal, and it's usually women that do the stabbings. It's weird.
ugh, it's so gross. But I think now that you just said that, I'm flashing through all these crazy ladies and that last woman who killed her boyfriend, or our area,
Oh
Jody
God,
Arias.
Jody Arias.
Yeah, I just think
I
that
think
women take it more stabbings with a knife is personal. But I'm not saying guys don't do it too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just
No, it's a
finding
weird.
that a lot of women do it.
It would definitely be a weird thing to do if you were angry about drugs to break into somebody's house and stab them. Is all I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you and saying that seems more likely that you would just have a gun with a silencer.
Right, it'd be so much easier. But originally, I wish we could find all that. There was said to be a gunshot heard over there by Linden Lane. I remember seeing it, but I don't have the receipt for it. But I remember hearing about it.
That it could have been a car backfire.
it was probably the
Very
water
well could
launcher.
have.
Jeff H just mentioned when Dylan's being interviewed about night before, she was trying to pull from memory, and at times she was being interviewed. She knows of the murders. What's nothing right before is crucial the next morning.
Now, wait a minute. Have we seen the videos of her being interviewed? Because I haven't. Is
No.
somebody privileged to that information? So how does he? Because I believe everybody's been interviewed. Bethany too.
Probably more
And
than one.
that's under the gag order. So how can we even assume what Dylan said or
I
interviewed or what she saw from memory? That'll be
don't think
all
it'd
on
be
tape.
possible. I don't think it'd be possible for them not to have been interviewed.
They have on tape.
Yeah.
So to say that comment, which Jeff, man, me and you, sometimes I'm telling you, you always go down that same route, and I gotta love you, but still, how do you know that she's pulling that from memory? None of us know that, unless you got the receipt, you got the video of these interviews. Because if you do, I want to see them. I don't believe that PCA. I don't believe a kid that age says clad in black. And I noticed that they don't say much that Bethany said. So that means to tell me that Bethany and Dylan's story didn't match. That's why they threw Bethany or Dylan under the bus. So I'm gonna agree
Well,
to
I mean,
disagree on that.
especially since, they had the emergency meeting with the college and had the counselors out there clad in black and frozen shock phase. That
Yeah,
sounds like a
exactly. Now
counselor to
he's saying
me.
the frozen shock. He's saying she said the phrase. I don't believe that was her words. I raised children. I raised kids that age. Like,
Hell, my
how is
daughter
this
would
a
say,
word they use?
my daughter would have had a whole lot of explicit, them dirty words.
Yeah, but she wouldn't say frozen shock. Listen, I'm 56 and I'd never heard of frozen shock phase.
Look, you didn't graduate the year of the pandemic or whatever. I'm just joking, throwing that out there.
But
But
still, frozen shock phase?
I don't know. I've never heard that before.
Me either.
But I don't speak 19-year-old girl.
Well, I got up here. I got up here and told how I think it happened. So I think they both knew about it, and I think they waited 8 hours to call. So
And I don't think they forgot
and I think they're
anything.
innocent.
I don't think they forgot anything or having to recollect from memory. Like they know everything.
What was that, Robert?
I said I got a video pulled up that actually sent me to my DM.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I actually think both those girls are probably innocent. I'm gonna say that, but
I'm gonna say I'm not so sure about that.
I'm not 100%, but I just don't like. I'm not gonna move past them. Have a real hard time moving past till I hear one
I have a hard time
one
that
of
they
them
called
speak.
friends over. They called friends over before they even called cops. Like,
Right. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't comprehend any of it.
yeah, makes no sense.
That's a very
We're ready,
valid
Robert.
question by Jeff H. I would have definitely asked, what do you mean by frozen shock phase? And then
Why
David
would you
Bird
ask
said,
that if
We
we
don't
didn't
have
say
the
it?
interview. They
Yeah.
very well might have asked.
And they don't need to write that part in the PCA. They just need to write like the brief explanation, right?
Yeah, and then David Bird said Ellie had leverage over DM as she failed to report the serious situation.
Yeah, most people would have went to jail for not reporting it.
Right?
Yeah.
Jeff H
Okay,
said
let's go with the
frozen shock.
video.
Yeah, Jeff H said frozen shock.
Jeff H will say the same thing every time. So
No, he
what he'll
says
do.
frozen. He says frozen shock phase means fear. Maybe she was shocked. A man walked past her like she was invisible.
Listen, we already had this conversation. To even see him, she would have had to come out of the room. Did we not have that the other night, Robert?
Yeah, we just talked about this 2 days
she
ago.
wouldn't have.
Okay, so why are we entertaining that? Like, I don't understand.
Actually,
I'm ready
my
for the
department
video,
uses
though.
Monday.com, so I'm good. Work management.
He ended up messaging me on Tinder that he was gonna go, and I was like, awesome, my plan worked. And then about an hour later, he texted me and said I had good birthing hips, so I never talked to him.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. So, Brian Kohberger has just appeared in court. We knew it was going to be a brief status hearing. And so, what has happened is he has waived his right to a speedy trial. And so, we are probably going to see him again on June 26th. When we saw him today, he looked like he had small cuts on his face, possibly from uh, shaving. One wonders how he's going to look different 6 months down the line. Now, thus far, there's been one glaring hole in what we know about Brian, one piece missing from the puzzle: his dalliances with the opposite sex. Well, were there any? Enter Haley Willett, a 26-year-old OB/GYN nurse. When Haley, who is from Pennsylvania, saw Brian's mugshot, she realized Kohberger was the same man that she went on an uncomfortable Tinder date with when she was in college. I think they both studied psychology. Haley seems to be the real deal because she was able to provide the Daily Beast with texts that she sent to friends, and one friend responded that she remembered Haley telling her about her nightmare Tinder date. She's also appeared on News Nation, and so she does seem to be legit. And obviously, how this story broke is she recognized Kohberger's face. She then went on to TikTok and told her story, and that is how it sort of has come onto the radar. According to the Daily Beast, Willett said that after matching on Tinder, both of them went to go and see an action movie. This was in December 2015, before Kohberger drove her back to her dorm at Penn State Hazleton. It would be interesting to know what vehicle he was driving. Once back on campus and briefly talking inside his car, she said Kohberger started being really pushy about coming into her room to watch another movie. The article then also provides some additional background leading up to the date and then the uncomfortable things that took place in the date and the abrupt ending to the date. But before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. If you're enjoying the coverage here and the discussions, head on over to patreon.com/TCRS. If you're enjoying this analysis, please like, share, leave a comment, and let's get started. So, Willett told the
Quick question for you. Do you know how much you actually weigh? This might sound crazy, and it's actually a little disgusting, to be honest.
Daily Beast that she spoke to Kohberger all morning. That was in December, and in the afternoon on the day of their date. And then he mentioned that he wanted to go to the movies, and he asked her if she would like to go with him, and she agreed to the date. And she said that Kohberger had a movie in mind, and while she can't actually remember the title, she said she didn't really care to see whatever it was. Now, I must say, although she seems to remember him not buying her popcorn, that is a little bit of a problem in terms of legitimacy, that she doesn't remember the actual movie they went to watch. Anyway, she said, I got off work and met him at the theater, and then he paid for her movie ticket, but he didn't want popcorn. So she ended up buying some for herself. She said, we watched the movie, and then he said he would take me back to my dorm. So there's a little prod there at Brian's lack of social etiquette, not buying her popcorn. Bear in mind, in 2015, Brian was around 20 or 21 years of age. According to the article, after driving her back to her dorm, Willett said that Kohberger ended up parking his car in a move she thought meant, well, that he just wanted to talk because they didn't really talk during the movie. She doesn't remember exactly what they spoke about, which is also a little bit problematic. But she said that after chatting for a while, she told Kohberger that she wanted to go back to the dorm room to check to see if her roommate needed her. Now, it's quite interesting that she remembers that aspect. But who knows, maybe he was kind of a boring dude to have a conversation with, and what he said wasn't particularly memorable. So anyway, she says that her roommate wasn't actually there and did not actually see Kohberger, which is also a little bit problematic here. Anyway, back inside her dorm room, both of them apparently sat down to pick another movie to watch together. In her TikTok, she described Kohberger trying to rub her shoulders and tickle her. Now, this is where I think it actually gains a little bit of legitimacy. Instead of describing him as a jerk and as this total kind of incel guy, she said that although it made her a little bit uncomfortable, she sort of went along with it in the beginning at least. So I don't know if there are any alarm bells here, if Haley allowed him in and they actually chose to watch a second movie, with she sort of went along with picking one. It suggests that
I don't remember this. I don't remember that. Oh, my roommate's not. I don't really believe anything this woman's saying. And I don't think he's an incel either.
that Haley saw something in him after all. I'd actually be interested to know what attracted her to him, at least in the beginning. Anyway, the article goes on to say when she asked him why he was touching her, Willett said in a video that he got super serious and denied he was doing that, which he described as gaslighting. Now, this part does sound familiar, doesn't it? When the manager at the brewery in Pennsylvania confronted Brian, this was also in December, about making creepy remarks to his staff. He also seemed shocked and he denied that as well. It seems like a default setting, doesn't it? The sort of two-face aspect. The nice normal guy and then the creepy jerk. According to the Daily Beast, Kohberger then followed her to a communal dorm female bathroom and waited outside the door. Now, if there aren't any clear red flags, well, this one is pretty clear. And one is the feeling that Brian didn't want her to get away, kind of thing. And so that is exactly what she says. She said, I thought that was the weirdest thing. So I was like, I need to get this guy to leave. But I didn't want to be mean. So I started to pretend to loudly throw up, she said. After a minute or two, he messaged me on Tinder saying he was going to go. So it seemed like she stayed in the bathroom and simply waited for him to lose interest and leave. But just think of that as an allegory for 1122 King Road. Think of the house as the bathroom and him waiting on the outside for her or for them, the kids inside. But also think overall how he experiences that whole evening. Anticipation leading to humiliation, expectation leading to disappointment and ultimately emasculation. He deserves it, but the bottom line is that he comes away frustrated and likely angry. How often did he have these experiences with women? But it gets worse. She goes on to say, after an hour or so of him being gone, he messaged me and said I had good birthing hips, and I just never messaged back. So one wonders whether he thought that she was going to, invite him over again. Anyway, a comment like that makes you wonder what sort of content Brian was consuming, perhaps excessively, online. According to the Daily Beast, both of them didn't speak to one another again after Kohberger had sent that, let's call it a questionable follow-up text about her hips. She said that while Kohberger was very polite and nice during the date, he completely changed gears when the pair got to her dorm. So, it's not as though she's saying that he was a jerk all the way through. And that does actually ring true to some extent. Again, do you see here, you get a sense that there is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde aspect to him. He is two people in a sense. As I say, the normal Mr. Nice Guy, a role that he seems to be quite familiar with. And then the weirdo, the creep, that we've heard quite a lot about from different sources, which seems to be possibly the real person. Isn't that the real Brian lurking under that mask? And if you think about a guy studying criminology who ultimately commits a crime, well, the guy studying criminology is Mr. Nice Guy. The weirdo, the creep, is the guy who actually commits the crime. Isn't that the real person? And so if you think about her words, she says, he just seemed very different and I felt a bit uncomfortable. Well, wasn't she actually seeing through the mask, and weren't her intuitions her female intuition's actually serving her well. What do you think? Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.
Well, panel, what do we think?
Well,
I was muted. I said, I think that girl's full of shit.
yeah,
I got my boots on and it was getting deep.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it seems like the more we watch, the more we watch it, the more it is kind of a stretch. All of it's kind of a stretch. I don't know. I've never talked to
Yeah.
either of these people. You
What do you
know?
think, Chad? Do you think what she's saying is a stretch?
I do. I don't even think she really even knew much about him. Listen, your first date. I mean, don't you remember a lot of your first dates? I mean, you're awkward, you're uneasy.
Right? Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's why I think that's so funny, because she does like, I'm never going to fault somebody for walking me to my door ever. That's like the polite thing to do. But at the same time,
Try to get a kiss though, and you're gonna get something all right.
right. Yeah, exactly. But like, you never know how's he in her house then?
Yeah.
Like, what do you
It'd be
do? Like,
pretty
if you
rude
want,
to just pull up and say, "Get out."
right. And it's like, you don't have to invite somebody in your house just because they walk you to the door. You're like, at the very least, like, make sure you get in your home safely is basically what I assume that's for. You don't need to be like, I'm coming in now. I got to see your birth and hips.
Birth and hips. Where should you get that from?
God, I wish she could save that a screenshot of that or whatever. Just send it
Yeah,
somehow.
if we don't have it, it didn't happen. That's what I say.
Right. It's kind of like that, because I'm watching her and thinking like, well, I don't know. I don't want to be a jerk, but it sounds like you went on a fine date. And then afterwards, he said something weird.
I agree with David Bird. Only stories emerging that fit the incel narrative are presented by mainstream media. I 1,000% agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, good point, Rondi. It was sarcasm from him. Maybe he's just being like, screw you. Could have just told me to leave.
Listen, it may have been he said, "You don't need no popcorn, lady." I'm just saying. I know people that's went on dates, dating sites, and their picture didn't look like the same person. Actually, my ex-brother-in-law was going on a date, and he said, "I want you to go in first, see what she looks like." I said, "She don't look like her picture, I'll tell you that."
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, true story too.
Oh, I believe
Needless
you.
to
Yeah.
say, he never showed up for the date.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely agree, Ashley. And this is a plant by the mainstream media.
Yeah, because we're just to make all the assumptions. Like, I don't know this guy's personality. He does look, I'm gonna tell you though, when he does that steepling thing, he does look like he has some confidence there.
He's confident. 1,000%.
So in that, because I did see a lot of channels that people said, and I don't even remember who to even name anybody. I've seen a lot of people comment that he looks scared, and I've never thought that.
He comes out laughing with the guards. He don't look scared.
I don't even think he actually looks scared when they show him being transferred, when he's like shackled and like walking.
And
He actually does not look scared to me.
They're more protective. He's in their custody, so he has to wear that helmet. He has to wear that bulletproof vest. He don't look scared to me. No.
He oozes machismo.
I don't know about that.
Jamie said no popcorn, just hot dog.
Oh.
Popcorn's usually cheaper than a hot dog, so she had a better chance of getting popcorn.
I want to know where Micah gets ice cream fudge sundaes or whatever he's saying.
He said ice cream before the movie, because I said, we ain't going on a date then to the movies if we're getting ice cream. This ain't Brahms. But you guys probably don't know what Brahms is.
No.
Oh, Brahms is... Oh, how do I explain it?
Rondi says he knew she blew him off.
It's a dairy place, and they do milk ice cream, They even grow their own food. It's really big here in the States, like Oklahoma, Kansas.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Sounds good. Is it local, like grocery store product, or do you have to
Oh
go to
no, they
Brahms?
grow their own stuff. It comes from most of their farms and stuff are in Oklahoma. I love
Oh,
Brahms. I only drink Brahms milk.
oh.
Yeah, it's really good.
Ask my Okie friends about that.
Yeah, ask them. Brahms. Brahms is it.
What was that, Robert?
Yeah, my wife loves the frozen yogurt from Brahms.
Oh yes, Brahms is like right down the street. Listen, I like Brahms so much we don't have it in Missouri at my lake house that I take a Yeti cooler and I stock up with Brahms. Like I'm addicted to Brahms.
Now I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm like, well, we don't have a Brahms.
I don't know what you would have. I'm trying to think like Borden's maybe. I don't know. But they have groceries like your fresh fruit and salad and
Oh,
sweet.
okay.
It's nice.
Jamie says she's never heard of it.
Yeah, I think it's only in Oklahoma, Kansas. I know at my Colorado house we don't have it there either. So I'd say Kansas and Oklahoma is the only place Brahms is.
Yeah.
Cool. It's
Rondi
lucrative.
Porter says, I'm an Okie.
Oh, hey, Okie.
Well, Okie, you know what Brahms is then. It's the best. Puts Dairy Queen out of business for sure.
Jeff H says Brahms has sites in Missouri.
Where? Where? Because I ain't seen
I think there's
one.
one in Joplin.
When my husband lived in on the still living here, and he lived on the Kansas City, Missouri side, I would stop in Emporia just to get milk because there was no Brahms. But I'm gonna Google it while we're up here.
He said Springfield, Mo.
Yeah, I go to Springfield all the time. I've never seen a Brahms. Seriously.
And Ozark, Missouri.
I have a house at Lake of the Ozarks. I've never seen Brahms. I go to
Yeah,
Bass Pro
how did we
Shop in
get started
Springfield.
talking
I've
about
never
ice
seen
cream?
Brahms.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
that's Micah's fault.
Now I'm
Because
craving ice
Michael
cream.
was talking about wanting a fudge sundae, whatever, at the movie theater, and I thought he was talking about like instead of getting popcorn and Junior Mints, he was getting an ice cream sundae. And I thought we don't have that at our movie
Yeah, I
theater.
mean,
It sounds fancy.
Jeff's right. It says there's Brahms there now in
That's it.
Springfield,
Yeah.
Aurora, Missouri. I've never seen Brahms though. That's the truth.
Mike goes,
That's
Dairy Queen
crazy.
ice cream. Dairy Cream ice cream cakes are my favorite.
They are good. They are good.
Oh, I did it. It's my fault. We're talking about ice cream. Let's go back to what we were talking about before, which is people's personalities when we don't know them. But
Now,
it is kind of a sad society that we're like assuming all these things, but
yeah.
at the same time, we're making assumptions from other people's accounts also, like Brian's friends who spoke about him. Friend.
The all of one
Yeah, I was gonna. I know exactly. I just
that he hadn't seen
stepped
in
that back.
forever.
Yeah, I had to step that one
And that's
back.
kind
The
of
one
like
we
Brent
haven't seen in 10
Kapaka's
years.
friend. Brent Kapaka's one friend that hadn't seen him in how long?
Yeah.
Weird. They'll have gag orders or what?
Right? Or you don't want to admit you're friends with somebody who might have murdered somebody.
I don't even think it's about that. It's, usually, you have at least 1, 2 friends. Like, I would speak up even if I thought the person did it. Because I
Now,
have an opinion.
see, what I would like to know is, Ann Taylor said in the court hearing, I believe it was either last month or in January. She made the statement that she wants to. Yeah. Now, yes, she did talk about 400 witnesses, but she's only had a chance to talk about maybe 10% of them, and she wants to bring in a whole bunch of witnesses for Brian's character and she wants to tell Brian's story, and she wants to go in 3 generations back in Brian's ancestry. Why would you need to go 3 generations back in his ancestry? Is she's trying to maybe possibly find that somebody in his family tree has some type of mental disorder, or because
No.
I know in Idaho they don't have guilt by insanity.
Well, no, I don't. That's what she's trying to do at all. I don't think that's what she's trying to do with that. I think she's trying to see if there's possibly somebody in his family, someplace in the area, somehow touched that knife.
And maybe trying to see if there's a branch that branched where it wasn't supposed to branch.
Right? Do you?
But when she's adamant, she wants to tell Brian's story.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's got to make sure he's. I mean, when she gets him off this horrible trial, his life's ruined.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I could be wrong, but
maybe his
His
life
life-
ain't
his
ruined.
life's
Maybe he's gonna
his
be.
life's his life's
He
over.
might be rich.
rich, but wait, but he'd just be by himself playing computer games. That would suck.
But he's an incel. It won't matter. He can
I'm
move
just kidding.
to.
I know.
He can move to Hawaii. He can move to Australia. He could go live anywhere he wanted. He's an incel. He'd be
Right.
rich.
He can move in with Elon Harsh.
Yeah, I don't even see them two hanging out. Like, but they're so different. But okay. Like, but if they were doing drugs together, I don't know.
I can see them being buddies through playing a computer game, but I don't see them hanging out.
Maybe when they can't see each other.
Right? Or they don't have like everything in common, but just that one thing that's like the main thing they do.
Could be.
Some people play those video games, I'm telling you, a lot.
So we're not going to talk about petting their cat.
Yeah, I forgot. Just
Now,
saying.
Now here's the I said $64 million question.
Really?
Right?
Maybe
Here's
incels feel they have a better chance of getting some in prison. Oh my God. Did you go there, Jeff? Really? Where's AR when we need him? He wouldn't like that comment.
here's the 64-cent question. Is Enon? Yeah, he says he's an introvert. Could he be an introvert or could he be an incel or both?
I don't think he's an incel.
I don't know.
either.
I can't buy much for 64 cents. So.
Well, no, Robert, I'm just going to pay tax on something else?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, even the Dollar Tree's $1.25 now.
But I feel like because he states he's an introvert and everything, and just with that one interview, and you could see him lean forward and read the question, on why being such an introvert, him moving to a party town / Creek Row, and he instantly said vaulted ceilings. Yeah, because you could see him reading the question, and then he goes to vaulted ceilings. If he's such an introvert, why move to a college town or party town /
He was born there. He's from there.
His parents live like around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, he grew up there. He went to school there. You're talking about Enon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from there. Why would he move?
Plus,
Yes,
he needs
David,
to
that's right.
throw his sticks. He needs vaulted ceilings. He made it. He gave us the answer for that. It's the sticks. He's throwing sticks.
I don't know. Let me ask my guy. Let me ask my
for the-
guy,
it's for the
Doctor.
POI.
He's my guy.
That's a good question, Rondi. How old is Enon?
I think he's 30.
29?
Here, I'll look it up.
Yeah, he's got to be late 20s, early 30s.
28, 29.
Doctor, he probably knows.
And Rachel in chat, introvert my butt. He's been on so many interviews.
No, that's a good point,
It
Rachel.
says
Like,
he's 30. Says he's
yeah.
30. But
All
that
right.
was in 2022. December 19th, 2022 is 30. So we're
Oh,
into
So he's
wow.
almost
32 now.
32. Yeah, almost 32 in December. Okay.
All right. Because he seems like he would be awkward to meet with people, but I don't know the instances that one interview that I don't think I've watched that interview of her since we originally watched that interview, or I mean, since it was originally released. Like, I guess I hadn't really like looked at it like that. I think when I looked at it, I thought Brian was definitely the person.
See, I think that Inna knows stuff. You don't just insert yourself in the case. Jeff, I disagree. I don't think it's about 15 minutes of fame with him. I think he actually knows stuff and wants to stay close to the case. That's my opinion. Because we know that it wasn't quiet that night. He said it was easy to find a parking spot with the Linden Lane videos and all that traffic. I don't think it was easy to find a parking spot. So, yeah, he inserted himself in that for a reason.
Yeah, and when just like 2 days after he did that interview with Matthias, that Matthias lady,
Right.
he left Idaho and went to San Francisco, and that was 2 days after that interview. Why all of a sudden would he just go, oh, okay, I'm leaving, bye? And the path he traveled kind of coincided with the stabbing deaths of those girls in Oregon.
There was a woman and her husband, and then the other woman. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't know how you would drive if you went from Moscow to San Francisco. Is that what you said?
No, you know how people get stabbed and killed a day?
Yeah.
A lot. There's actually a lot.
How often does it happen when somebody breaks in their home and stabs and kills them?
I'm sure there's a lot.
Just like Ashley Ann says, same with Joe V. You guys know I had my own experience with him.
If she wants me to tell that, I could tell it briefly.
Oh, she told the other night. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah. Ashley, you want me to tell him? I'll just tell it briefly. Or if you want to come up, we'll bring you up on the panel, girl.
I'll drop that link for you, Ashley.
That's right.
Chappie Bass. Enon is a panty raider.
Probably. Probably. I don't know if Weston is too. I knew you'd get it, Sophie.
Yeah. That's
Damn
really
dog.
funny. Yeah. Our dogs love to do that stuff. But
Well, I'll just say this. I'll say it this way. There's a bunch of people on social media that Joe V
I dropped the link for Ashley.
started hitting up on social media like a creep. Didn't even know the people and started hitting them up. That's a creeper. He's sus to me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the biggest sus thing is bringing a half-drink bottle of alcohol to somebody's house. Almost as sus as the person saying yes and taking it.
I wish I knew where that video went when the girls, or maybe somebody could tell me if it was just made up. But they were doing a video in the house, and I remember Maddie singing the part about Inan Harsh and saying he was a huffer, and Inan's a huffer as she was at the hallway.
What?
Yeah, I want to say I saw it on Lana's or something, but it was a video that was made, and she said that he was a huffer. Am I getting an echo?
Uh-huh.
Why am I getting an echo? That's weird.
But I dropped the link for Ashley if she wants to come up.
Did y'all look at that trail?
I sent it all to Robert. I'm ready
Oh
for him to
yeah,
bring it up.
I can pull it up.
Thank you. Nina sent the trail from Intimate Sophie that we were asking for.
Yeah, thank
Actually,
you.
there's quite a few. There's quite a few she sent.
Cool.
Maybe she can explain them better than I could. A Huffer. So, like the Huff paint, mostly that's that duster stuff that you clean your computer with. Get high off the cans of that duster. That's what a Huffer is.
Or spray paint, or glue, or gas.
Yeah, but mostly it's that canned gas that you clean your computer pad, like your
Sure.
laptop with. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm like, I think that's regional. Over here, it's gas. And I'm just joking. Just joking. yeah. Huffing. I one time, that's my Vegas thing. I saw a guy huffing spray paint one time in Las Vegas.
Was it space blue?
His face was covered in spray paint.
Yeah,
He looked really
Huffer at
happy.
Kmart.
He looked super
And
happy.
he would huff every day. He'd go in and buy them cans of what I was telling you. And
Yep.
huffed. He ended up passing away, but yeah, it's not good stuff for you for sure.
Yeah, no, you know what? I actually know a little bit about it because it kills. I had a friend whose child actually died in a car wreck with his buddy, and that's what they were doing.
I
There
do
we go,
remember
guys.
as a kid sniffing Elmer's glue.
What?
I
Yeah,
remember I
exactly.
thought Elmer's glue smelled good.
Or those markers, the different colored markers that smell
Oh,
like grape.
the black ones, they smell. Permanent markers. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, go on, Robert. I'm sorry.
See, it's
There we
happened.
go.
Oh, the picture. Thank you, Robert.
There's the Queen Road Apartments right there. There's that trail that goes behind.
Yeah, and she's got several that she sent.
Oh, it looks so close when you look at it like that, right?
I
Like it
know
might
that don't look like
say
a
it's a
mile.
mile, but it's like, I don't know, a mile by road.
I think it's a mile if you drive it.
Gotcha. So
I
it's
think
like,
it's a mile by the way the crow flies.
right?
Isn't that
The
what my
crow
Garmin
flies.
always says? The crow
Yeah, but
flies.
the crow
But
flies quicker.
that's Emma
Not
Bailey's
if it's
parents' house
windy.
right there.
You live in Kansas, you notice the birds don't fly very windy.
Wait, so that is so close, and this little trail thing is funny because it's a legitimate like bike trail.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. She's got some good ones. Robert?
I'm here. I just don't want to show the Discord, so I'm doing it off.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I think she sent me 5 or so, and I sent them all to you. Motive and opportunity is what we need to reach, it says.
Oh my gosh, Chappie, you're killing me. Does this napkin smell like chloroform? Is like when people always make pickup line jokes. That's my favorite
I
one.
thought chloroform didn't smell.
Right, but it knocks you out.
But it don't smell to it.
No, so you could be like, "Oh, miss, I'm sorry. Does this rag smell like chloroform?" and put it over their face and then knock them out.
So Jeff H,
There's
205 yards. Is that a mile?
There's that staircase right there, and right there is this house right here is Emma Bailey's parents' house, and there's that trail going right by that little door right there, or door window, whatever.
Nothing a mountain bike can't go on. That's for sure.
Oh my God, a mountain bike in like 2 minutes or something, right?
Right.
Yeah. Or a naked girl
When
running
you're
at
in
2
shape like
a.m.
me, it
whatever.
might be more like 30, but okay.
That's you pushing it along the road by the trail.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I knew you'd look it up.
The
1,760
trail highlighted.
yards in a mile. And he said that it was how many yards?
205.
205 yards. So it's not a mile. It didn't look like a mile to me.
It looks like 3 blocks.
It looks close. Looks like something I could walk for sure.
Yeah. Like when I've been in Moscow, it's kind of like the whole area by the school, and then there's like other neighborhoods that are not as close, but most of the areas I've been in there have been walkable to everything.
No, Jeff, I don't have Google because I got too many devices going right now. Thank you for looking it up.
It says you can walk it in 8 minutes.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's a hop,
There's the
skip,
house
and a
right there.
jump. I got this.
Well, but can you walk it in 8 minutes in November?
Yeah,
That's the
I
house
could probably
right there,
walk it in
guys.
5.
I'd say it
I
would
could probably
probably
walk
be
in
easier
5.
in
I would
November.
be too cold. I'd be in a hurry. I'd be cold. I'd want to walk it fast.
There might be like a foot of snow there. Maybe.
I could
See, my
walk it.
thing is instead of driving around and everything and being seen, why didn't you just go park your car on the cul-de-sac and go up the steps?
That's
Right?
why I say I don't think he did it. And drive his own car. He's a criminology major and he drives his own car. That's just silly.
Right?
Yeah, makes no sense.
You're right here.
Like, why didn't he leave his cell phone at home?
Their
Well,
house
I mean,
sold when their
I wouldn't leave my
house
cell phone
sold.
home.
Yeah,
It's in
look at
those
this,
little
guys.
bunches.
There's their house right there, and look where the freaking trail is. Goes right by the house.
Like what house? Which house is which?
1625 is her parents' address.
Okay,
And
and
the
where's
white
King
line is
Road?
that too.
Where's King
No,
Road
There's
from
that
there?
trail.
1619 is their house.
I was
1619.
gonna say it's one blurred out in the purple.
Yeah, I put the purple there.
That's just another house. Oh, 1619 is their house? It is the
Yeah,
purple one? Okay.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Okay. So why couldn't you park at the dead end of the cul-de-sac? Walk down that trail.
Well, if you're
Right.
if you're Emma or you're Demetrius, why don't you just park in the damn driveway?
Yeah, but maybe that neighborhood, which looks like I'm seeing roofs bigger than the other neighborhoods, like this neighborhood has paved driveways. Y'all have paved driveways. I think
Yeah.
that's the big deal.
Doesn't that look almost like that truck that drove by Maddie, Kaylee, and Jack?
It's too blurry to
in the
see
top?
for me. It's very blurry.
What are you asking if it is, Robert?
That white truck that drove by Maddie, Kaylee, and Jack S.
Now you do
That
realize
looks like
white
a
is the
Jeep.
most common color of a car, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jeff H. I think it's 1617 Shetland Court.
But at the same time, yeah, I was going to say that
16,
maybe if you.
19.
What was that?
They don't
Nina?
live there anymore, so.
I bet they don't. I think though, if you couldn't park back there, like, look, there's no, I don't see any cars parked on the street except for that white one. But I think if you live in this
Oh, there's a
neighborhood and
red
somebody
one there.
parks,
There's a
somebody
red one
parks
right
on the
across from
street.
the white one.
Oh, there is. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But let me tell you what. Growing up, nobody parked in my parents' driveway, so they had to park in the cul-de-sac. It was rude to park in my parents' driveway, because if my dad wanted to go somewhere, you better not be in his way. So
Yeah, I
my
get
friends
that.
parked in the cul-de-sac, and that was her
Right.
parents' house. So who would park in the drive? It wouldn't be for people to park in the cul-de-sac. Just don't block the driveway, type of thing.
Right.
Is Bianca going to bed?
She said she's going to go enjoy her beautiful day / evening.
There you go. Yeah, we're about ready anyway, right?
Yep.
Do we got more I think she might have a couple more pictures she sent. They were pretty interesting.
Yeah, what else did she send you?
They were all on the
Oh,
trail,
there's.
but they're all different views. You know?
Oh yeah, but Ashley filled the back chat up.
Drop that link for her. She can take my spot.
Huh.
Been a long day. Been a rough evening.
Hey, Elliot Roger Manifesto.
Oh,
It's only one
Yeah,
page.
you know
is
what?
this that
I
one
put a
page?
note with that. I said, this is interesting, but I hope you're not going to try to read this whole thing.
Yeah,
No,
really.
I'm not.
No.
Thank you, Nina. She shared that too. That was keen.
Thank you, Nina.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And so are we just assuming what was underlined was what she was reading? There's like that specific part from it. Women must be
Oh, I didn't.
punished.
Is there something underlined? I didn't underline.
No,
No,
I
it's
not
didn't
this,
see
underlined,
anything
not by
underlined.
you, but she said
no,
Oh,
something.
it's this section right here. About how wicked and degenerate women really are. Most of the people on that website have extremely
Oh,
stupid
I got
opinions
you, Ashley. I'll get it.
that I found very frustrating, but I found a few to be quite insightful. The website PUAH, Pua Hate, or whatever it is is very depressing. It shows just how bleak and cruel the world is due to all the evilness of women. I tried to show it to my parents to give them some sort dose
No, that's not what.
reality
That's not
as
what
to
she.
why I am so miserable. They never understand why I'm so miserable. They have always had the delusion that hold on, that everything is going well for me, especially my father. When I sent the link to the puahate.com to my parents, none of them even bothered to look at the post on there.
This is not. This
Okay.
is not what.
I
Can
don't
you?
have a
Can you?
TV on.
Can you
That TV
go
is not
backward?
me.
Like, yeah, uh, like make it not like unzoom for me,
Okay.
Robert, because that's
Robert,
not what. Yeah, turn the TV off.
somebody's got a TV on.
My TV's not on. My TV's off. I turned my TV off before
I don't have a TV on
I
either,
came live.
but
There.
I do hear it echo.
Now you don't hear anymore. Oh, I still hear it. What she was reading was this part at the bottom. It says women must be punished for their crimes of rejecting magnificent gentlemen as myself or something like that, right? When she just read it.
Yeah, let me see.
I don't know though, because this is the page 118 or whatever, right? Of what we've printed. And again, like I said, I don't think you can guarantee that any page is going to be a page once you've printed
Oh,
something.
yeah. Well, like the one that at the very bottom says, it came to a point where I had to set a date for the day of retribution. I originally considered doing it on Halloween of 2013. That is when the entire town erupts in raucous partying. There would be literally, there would be literally be thousands of people crowded together who I could kill with ease, and the goal was to kill everyone in uh, Isla Vista to utterly destroy that wretched town. But then, after seeing footage of previous Halloween events on YouTube, I saw that there were too many cops walking around. It would be too risky. One gunshot from a cop would end everything. The day of retribution would have to be on a normal party weekend, so I set it for sometime during November of 2013. Yeah, dude's just he's sick.
But that's the other person. That's Papa Rogers' manifesto. So it's not even
That's
like
right.
it's not even any of these people. But that leads us to the other beginning of that incel conversation. So do we think incel and we think of military people who are like inside and knowing and like able to like share you know what I mean, like traders
Are you
basically.
talking intel or incel?
No, incel. That's what I'm saying. What was the other version of the incel when Nina was saying that? I wanted to know like how we describe that when I'm like saying there's this kind of incel where I think it's just like a young guy who can't get laid but wishes they could, but does nothing to do that. Does nothing to get that achievement or whatever.
Said these guys that have lost their minds don't have just one friend that would talk them out of their craziness. What is he talking about? I'm kind of confused.
Talking about like with Elliot, that somebody maybe could have talked him out of it if
Oh,
he'd have just
okay.
had that one friend.
And of course, there's Emma Bailey throwing a guy around.
I guess she was a good wrestler.
Do you think she could have maybe took Ethan to the ground?
No, I know he would have had to been on something or drunk but it
I
wasn't
don't think
Saturday
they were
night. He
involved.
would have had to be impaired. Ethan was a big old boy.
I bet everybody was impaired in that house.
Yeah, but you would have had to listen. Even impaired, it would your weight is a lot heavier when you're impaired. My gosh, if my daughter, she got drunk and we went to help her, and I could carry her any other time. But boy, when she was drunk, there wasn't no way I could carry her.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder to take somebody down that I think. Anyway, I could be way wrong.
Adrenaline.
Yes. Just give credit to Bubbly Waters for that image.
Oh. Yep. Probably.
We like bubbly.
We love Bubbly.
Oh, I don't drink bubbly, but for some reason I'm yawning.
I don't know why you're tired.
Yes, you do. Listen, lady. Okay, you know you do.
I
Listen,
know.
lady.
Listen,
We're-
lady.
Listen, lady.
Listen, lady.
I
That's
know.
what I should have that in my soundboard.
Yeah,
Listen, lady.
that's funny. Funny stuff. Oh,
So this
I
is
don't
gonna
know.
be the last live for a couple of days.
we need a break. And it's St. Patty's Day. There's a lot of people that really listen. That's their favorite holiday for a lot of people.
Yeah. I know a
So
lot of people. Yeah.
I know here we got the parade, and then like I said, we got the dang uh, pub crawl. Friday nights is a really rough night for me. But what do you guys do on Sundays? Like, would anybody do? I know there's basketball going on, but my team's out right now, so
Well, if your team's out, I'm not watching anymore.
yeah, that's what I said. My husband said, "Are you gonna watch any of the Big 12?" I said, "Nope, I'm done."
Never again.
Well, our two big players are out, so but yeah, we've never been out this quick. But
Right.
anyway, what
Right.
what about Sunday? Listen, lady, we're in the place. We're in the place here, so we need to figure out what time we're gonna do it in the place.
I'm
Or do you
down
want?
for down
You
for
know,
Sunday.
Mondays are kind of hard. I don't know if they're hard for anybody else, but I don't work, so it don't really matter. But for people that work and Mondays and stuff, it might be a little hard. So, what do you think about? I don't want to run into you know family time on Sundays because you all know I go to church. I do the church on the streets, but like I don't go in the morning and at night and all that craziness. I'm not that person, but some people do really get into that. I don't want to.
Micah goes, "Kiss me, I'm Irish."
Well, I'll kiss you all right in the kisser.
You better wear green. Make sure you wear green, my
Listen, he's not buying popcorn. He's not getting a kiss. So it's isn't that
guy.
deal. But yeah, St. Patty's Day, like in Kansas City, it's huge. Google it. Like that's probably one of their favorite holidays. There is St. Patty's Day. It's huge in Kansas City.
So when is the St. Patrick's Day parade here, Rock?
It's Saturday morning. I'm gonna actually go live, and because we have to go to the pub crawl, and everybody always dresses up, so
Fun.
I'm gonna go live on my Discord and show the bars in
Where's the
town.
parade at downtown?
It will start. Here, I'll look it up for you. Because for years we didn't have a parade, but now we got it back. I'm positive it'll go down Douglas.
Eric, she's only 14 in that picture, huh? Tiny.
Okay. Gonna be March 16th. And it says it's gonna start in Old Cowtown.
Okay.
That helps you anyway.
Yep.
A lot of stuff for your daughter to do, though. It's going to
Yeah.
go from McLean and Douglas Avenue and across. So, right down Douglas, like I said, from Delano District across.
All right.
Anybody else enjoy St. Patty's Day? Do you guys party for St. Patty's Day?
I am going to my friend's birthday. She's St. Pammy. So we're going to Pam's Day. St. Pam's Day.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Like I said, that's the biggest beer sales day of the year. It's St. Patty's Day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
big deal.
Definitely.
Now make sure you guys hit that thumbs up if you would. It's free. Robert appreciates it. We got 40-some people in here and 26 likes. We could really use the likes.
Yeah.
Help get the algorithm up. Would be awesome.
See,
Very
I'm
much
not
appreciated.
really a beer drinker. I'm more of a whiskey drinker.
Listen, if I have a lot of tomato juice, I can drink a beer, but I gotta have a lot of tomato juice for that, or Clamato.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Red beer.
Red
I'm
beer.
more like a Jack Daniels and Captain Morgan, and I'm more of like a hard liquor type of drinker.
Hey, I'm kind of curious. I see that EB 2022 in here. Welcome for one.
EB 2022 is Irish. I see they're popping up shamrocks on us.
I'm
Thank
just
you.
wondering, is that Emma Bailey? EB?
I don't know.
I don't know. Welcome anyway, either way.
And I just got a notification that AR just dropped a new members only video.
Ooh, I'm a member.
I am
my.
too. I bought a lot of memberships there. I buy them everywhere.
Right? I think that's so fun. I actually think that's fun. Like all of a sudden I see
Thanks,
on
Ashley, for asking. Emma, is that you? I'm curious. If it is, welcome. I do want to say that I do remember, Nina, Lana did talk to Emma and Demetrius after their jail stint thing. So it wouldn't surprise me.
If I was accused of some crime that was on the internet all the time, I'd be watching too.
Listen, don't think the families don't watch. Like I think they do. And that's why I'm really picky about, talking about the parents. Other than, I like the interviews and watching them and the reactions and catching new stuff. Yeah, but we're not here to bash anybody or anything like
I
that.
hope that's not felt like picking on them by any means. But I hope they understand that sort of stuff because there's no reason to cause them any more pain. That's for damn sure.
Right. Any of them, and you're innocent, just like Emma and them, they're innocent until proven guilty, and sounds like the charges were dropped, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I just meant like any of the people that
Listen, lady.
like if you were that Jeremy guy and you lived next door and you just like totally disappeared.
Yeah. You want a reaction, don't you?
You don't know me.
You want a reaction.
Listen, lady.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, we entertain ourselves at night, okay? It's kind of how it goes. Well, I'm about ready to get off of here, unless that is Emma and she is trying to talk or something, or anybody else is wanting to say something. Like I don't want to cut anybody off. Okay? You'll wrestle me for it. I'm down. Let's go.
And Micah with the listen, lady.
You want a
Listen,
reaction, don't you?
want a reaction, don't you? I can't even. I can't. I can't even.
Micah says he's down to wrestle.
Oh, what?
Micah says EB 2022 down to wrestle.
Yeah, we're all wrestling around here. Oh, that's a good question. I'm going with Jello.
Wow.
Sophie about made me choke. You had me laughing so hard that I'm crying.
We're a laughing crew around here, huh? I think there's just some things that are too funny. Like
No, right?
Well, I will see you all
Well, yeah.
Sunday night, and
Sunday.
in between
Yeah,
now
what
and
time?
then, same crime time, same crime channel.
You know, it's so funny. I go into Quick Trip here, and as I'm leaving, the guys will say, "See you later." And every once in a while, I come back and say, and I'm standing there like, "Can I help you?" I say, "Yeah, you're gonna see me later." I got a busy schedule. What time are we seeing each other later? And they're like, "What?"
Huh?
Mhm. Yeah, as I said, me and Rock Jock and Sophie had a wild night. We sure did.
That's right.
And all while I was sleeping.
I
Yep,
know.
yep. You really missed it.
You big
Anyway, I
time.
hope everybody has a great St. Patty's Day weekend. Like for
Yeah, we
sure,
love y'all.
for
I
sure.
love
And
y'all.
in between now and Sunday, I will be dropping some original content. So yeah,
Oh, Eric used to wrestle. Nice.
and mud or Jello.
Measure Jello. I don't
I
get that. Explain it to me.
Jello wrestling or mud wrestling?
Oh, okay. It's like mud or Jello. Okay. Yeah,
I picked
Jello.
Jello at
Nobody
first,
wants
but
to do
then,
the mud.
well, I realized mud's probably easier to get off you.
I don't know.
Sticky,
I'd be eating the Jello probably.
right?
Y'all got talking about food and stuff, and you know I had this mouth situation. Jello's really good right now.
All right. Well,
All right,
let's get some food in there.
here is the outro, guys. You guys have a good night and a good St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, I may be
Don't
drinking
forget to
Friday
wear
night.
your green. Don't forget to wear your green, or you're gonna get pinched.
All right, we'll see everyone Sunday. Peace.